Ohio State playing Michigan State at home in late November? If history's any indicator, surely this game will be normal. Nope, there's no reason to think anything out of the ordinary will happen here. It's virtual senior day here on the simulator, and I gotta tell you guys, this one was a real pain in the ass to put together because the first time that I simmed it, the game just got stuck in the second quarter with 13 seconds left. You see on the top right, the play clock's just not moving. I let it sit here for about 2 minutes, and the game just wasn't having it. Michigan State, very effective ball control offense here. The good news, though, is that when I restarted, I was able to do this nifty little glitch, which gives you the camera angle that looks like you're playing, which is so much better than the other one I use for these. So, small positives. But everything else here should look pretty familiar, including the Ohio State pass defense, giving up a massive play, this one on Michigan State's second drive. They cross midfield, get into the red zone, and Sparty's looking to break the ice on this game, but Ronnie Hickman is having none of it, as he's not buying on the play action, picks it off in the end zone, takes a knee, and even though Ohio State just ends up punting on the next drive, this is a huge play because it saves points, but I do have to point out, look at all that room Hickman has to work with when he takes the knee. Tyvis Powell would never. That's as close as either team gets to scoring in the first quarter, and as we move into the middle of the second, starting to feel a little trestle ball-y in here, and what says trestle ball more than a great punt? Jesse Mirko, his third of the day here, just booms this one, and Ohio State makes their second big play of the day. This time, forcing a fumble on the punt return, recovering it inside the 10, and no red zone problems here. Travion Henderson just stiff arms the Michigan State defender into the end zone, and Ohio State strikes first. On the other side, Michigan State star running back Kenneth Walker's having a tough time getting going. These two plays are really just a summary of his whole day. He ends up with like 55 yards on 28 carries. Defense just giving him nothing. Teron Vincent has just a monster game, and I also want you to take a look at this third down call. The simulator knows that it's late November in the Big Ten, baby. Nothing else happens in the first half unless you want to see another beautiful Jesse Mirko punt right here, but Ohio State goes up 7-0 into halftime, and it's feeling very much like the actual 2015 game. The stats are pretty similar. Ohio State probably on pace to gain more yards than they did in that one. And it really just continues into their first drive of the second half because this is the play call on third down. And at this point, I was convinced that virtual NCAA 08 Jim Tressel from this game was controlling the flow here because it's immediately followed up by another great punt. And that punting and defense are really the reason they're in the lead here. But on Michigan State's first drive of the second half, they start to catch a little bit of a rhythm. Peyton Thorne keeps here to get Michigan State in scoring territory. And then remember that strategy Ohio State used last week against Purdue where they rushed 2 or rushed 3 and dropped 8 or 9? Well, they bring it back out again, and the results are predictable as Michigan State cashes in on this touchdown catch by Trey Mosley, and we're tied up at 7. I swear, I'm just re-simming the 2015 Michigan State game. It's exactly the same. Well, maybe not, because here's an Ohio State running back in the open field. That definitely didn't happen in that game. But as the third quarter's coming to a close, Ohio State's unable to convert on this 3rd and 9, and Ryan Day is left to make the gutsiest decision of the season, given his quarterback is 4 of 8 for 50 yards passing so far, and he trusts C.J. Stroud, and Stroud, to his credit, employs a strategy that's worked pretty well for Ohio State the last few years, and that's if you throw it to 2 or to 5, it's going to equal 7. This time it's Garrett Wilson who mosses 2 defenders in the back of the end zone and continues his hot streak from last week, gives Ohio State a 14-7 lead as the fourth quarter begins, and at this point, it's just up to the defense to see if they can get some stops. And who else would step up but the Rushman? First is JT Tuimoloau, who is just killing it on the SimVids. I wish I had his stats written down. He's having a big year on NCAA 08. And then Zach Harrison with his 3rd tackle for loss of the game gets the ball back to the offense with a chance to salt the game away. Unfortunately, they're not able to do it. Jesse Mirko's 7th punt of the game. Flips field position, but Michigan State gets a pretty good return there, and they're in business with 2:30 left. And they start driving on the first play. They pick up 15 yards through the air. Kenneth Walker slices through for about 5 or 6 here, and they get to 3rd and 5, and Cody Simon makes a bone-crunching hit to bring up 4th down. And I swear, I can't shake the feeling that I've watched this game before. Where is that coming from? And on 4th down with the game on the line, Mel Tucker makes the $95 million decision to direct snap to Kenneth Walker. Zach Harrison stuffs him. Notice how nobody jumped offside on that play. He gets the ball back to Ohio State's offense, who salts the game away. Travion Henderson picks up the 1st down also picks up a cool little celebration penalty here. That doesn't matter. Ohio State's able to kneel it out. No 2015 here. Jesse Mirko's the player of the game. They win 14-7. Wow. I'm sorry, guys, if I brought up some traumatic memories there, but I promise I don't alter these games in any way. That's exactly the way this one played out, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to twostripecpd.com. You can follow me on Twitter if you want, @DubsCo, and I'll be back next week. You know what it is. Ohio State, Michigan. Can't wait. I'll holler at you then.